Fala galera do Stay Heavy, estou aqui com o Christopher, líder do Therion, e a gente vai bater um papo com ele. Eles acabaram de fazer o show em São Paulo, fizeram um show ontem aqui. Vamos saber como foi também a turnê desse novo álbum e muitas coisas. Hello Christopher.
Hello, it's nice to be here again.
Thank you. First of all, I would like you to tell the guys how was the concert yesterday, the only show here in Brazil.
It was amazing as always. I mean, the audience here is so enthusiastic, and it's a very good venue, and we're very lucky that we could use it again because I've heard it's been closed for 3 years from metal shows. We're not purely metal, so I guess that's why we were allowed. And yeah, it was a great thing coming here again.
Okay, and how is the receptivity of the crowd about the new album?
Well, here it's been only positive mainly, but in Europe it seems every time we make a new record there's so many opinions, and this started, actually it's been every time since Therion started it's been like that, but it's been more, how would you say, violent opinions, or not that violent, but more emotional and big opinions since we did Tailing. I mean, a lot of people were really disappointed in that record because it was a change of style, but then we sold so much more records that the old voices drowned in the ocean of the new ones. But even with Bovin, which is our by far best-selling albums, there's a lot of people that thought, oh, it's not as good as the other one, and then came Deja, oh, it's not as good as Bovin, you know. And the Secret of the Runes, if you read on the internet today, this is usually the favorite album of the die-hard fans. And this album was so much complained at when it was released. You know, everything is shit when we release it. 2 years later, it's classics. So now, actually, the majority like what we do, but there's really a lot of people, especially since internet became popular, like, oh, new album, it's not what I had in mind. Like, yeah, but what the fuck cares what you had in mind? You know, if you would try to please everybody, I mean, the record would be so schizophrenic that nobody could listen to it. So this time, just like every time else, there's been a lot of complaints. Oh, no, it's not really our preference and direction. And this time the change was more drastic, also cosmetic. I mean, people are more sensitive for that. Every record we did was a lot of changes musically, but this time we also changed a lot on the surface, which people noticed very easily. But I mean, overall, I would say 90% of the reactions, as always, has been very positive, and the album seems to be doing pretty well. And I mean, the tour in Europe was successful, and just no complaints from my side. You know, in a way, it's business as usual because we have so loyal fans that you know we will always sell a certain amount, and there will always be a certain amount coming to the show. On the other hand, it's very far from business as usual because we always change the performance concept so much. There's always so much work with each album and each tour to do things new. And I would say when it comes to albums, we work best with a knife against the throat. When there's a big risk something can go completely wrong. That's why we always work with new producers, new studios, and those things. And live, now we work with a completely different concept. On the last tour was kind of a Beauty and the Beast concept with a pure classical singer and a rock and roll monster like Mats Levén, and with me in the middle being kind of one leg in each of the worlds. This time we have this sort of fantastic four thing with 4 extremely good lead vocalists with very different roles, different colors of their singing and musicality.
Talking a little about the new album, so you said the crowd had a 9% approved it, and how do you describe this new album for the ones that didn't hear this yet?
Well, it's a little bit less symphonic than the last few records, and it's a little bit more guitar oriented and more focused on lead singers. And we do quite strange mixtures. We mix opera singing with rock singing in the same ensemble. I don't think anybody did that, like making a choir with both. So it's really hard sometimes to define, is this classic or is it rock vocals, because they're mixed. We just wanted to try new things, as always. And one thing that I'm really proud of is that we managed to make an album which is very easy to listen to. Your mother could listen to it. But at the same time, it's very complicated stuff. I'll give you an example. Take Perennial Sophia. It's like a ballad. I mean, anybody could listen to it. At the same time, the time signature is a 5/4. That you count to 5 instead of 4, which is normal if you play jazz, or Dream Theater would make that. Meshuggah would make that. A very progressive bands and prog bands would do that. But a regular metal band normally don't do that at all. It's considered a very difficult time signature, and we have a lot of 7/8, we have 9/12. It's a lot of very strange time signature and a lot of weird guitar chords. So it's actually very jazzy and very progressive. So if a musician analyzes it, he would say, "This is really complicated." But at the same time, your mother could listen to it and say, "Oh, this is so easy and nice to listen to." And I'm surprised myself because it wasn't planned. We just wrote songs. And we wrote very accessible music that was very hard to play. So it was a great challenge doing the record too.
Therion is completing 20 years of band, and I want to know the next plans.
Well, first of all, vacation. I'm gonna take the whole year 2008 off. I think I deserve that after working so hard for so many years, and especially this year has been really hard. When you prepare a tour, because I'm so involved with management issues and everything, I end up doing so much office work. People wouldn't believe it. They think you just take your guitar and play a little bit, get some money, have a beer, and go to the next place. But it's not really that simple. It's always tons of interviews, technical things, booking stuff, and so on. So before a tour, I tend to work 7 days a week, 12 hours a day. That's always a minimum, And that, of course, is very hard if you have a girlfriend and stuff like that. You live together, but you don't see each other very much. So I need, for personal reasons, the whole 2000 years off. No activities, maybe 1 or 2 festivals in the summer, but that would really be the limit. Just in normal, boring things that people do every day that I never had the time to do, and things that I used to do a lot that I didn't have time to do the last few years. So catch up with the books I bought, go to the opera, walk in the nature, climbing the mountain, doing things like that. See family and friends more. When I've recharged my batteries, we're going to start slowly working on a new record in 2009. Or there's a small chance we might be doing what we will do in Europe after the Gothic Kabbalah tour. We're doing a 20-year anniversary tour where we play the whole Therion album, and a set list that fans voted for on the internet. It would be very nice to do this in Latin America too, but I don't want to make plans now. It's too early. I just want to finish what we have booked now, have the 2008 off, and then we'll see if there's a huge demand for doing that. Obviously, it won't be a 20-year celebration tour then, but you can call it second Therion tour or whatever. If there's a huge demand for that in Latin America, we might do that first and then start working on the next record. Especially because personally it really feels really shitty not having a full European production with us, and one time, if it will be the last thing I do in life, I will bring the full European production to here, because you guys pay the same ticket prices in Europe, but it's a lot more money for you people. And when we finish another record, it will be another world tour, and life goes on and on.
So, thank you very much. I'd like you to leave a message to the Brazilian fans.
Well, as always, it's a great pleasure being back here again, and we had a great show, as always. And a world tour without Brazil is not a world tour, so we'll see you around every time we go on tour.